Liverpool are a shambles. 1 week to prepare for a team in the relegation zone, and they're 2-0 down in the first 12 damn minutes. What is going on with this side? It's the same mistakes over and over. I feel like I'm a broken record with these videos. How many times is this side not going to be mentally switched on at the start of games? How often do we need to go behind to snap into action and actually start playing properly? And listening to Jurgen Klopp after the game, he was furious about it. I mean, I was so angry watching it myself, but you could tell he almost doesn't have answers for it. He's like, how are these players who he's trusted for so long, who've been so consistent, how have they fallen so low? How have all the traits that we've associated with Klopp Liverpool teams been eroded so substantially this season? But Liverpool have had another absolutely shocking game. And they've handed Wolves, who were in the relegation zone before this game, their biggest win of the season. And that says it all. Liverpool are easy to play against right now. Teams should want to play against Liverpool right now. When we lost 3-0 against Brighton, there was a narrative saying, well, Brighton are a really, really damn good side, even though we made them look like Pep's Barcelona team. But the reality was, yeah, Brighton are a good team, but we made them look even better, and we made Wolves look like a top team for portions of this game. That's how bad Liverpool are right now. I've got the results of Liverpool's games in 2023, so since the turn of the new year, and I want to read them out here. Brentford 3, Liverpool 1. Wolves 2, Liverpool 2. Brighton 3, Liverpool 0. Wolves 0, Liverpool 1. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 0. Brighton 2, Liverpool 1. Wolves 3, Liverpool 0. That means that in the last 7 games that Liverpool have had since the turn of the new year, Liverpool have won just 1, they've lost 4, and they've drawn 2. That is an absolutely shocking record. And it's not like we've played top teams here either. Chelsea are in mid-table. They're having their own problems right now. These weren't against Real Madrid and Man City and Arsenal. And the fact that Liverpool have conceded 3 goals away from home against Brighton, Brentford, and Wolves, I mean, it just can't happen. Liverpool again started this game against Wolves like they just weren't ready for it. You felt like you wanted to grab the players and shake them, get them to wake up. And it only took Wolves 5 minutes to get the first goal. The ball goes over the top to a Wolves player on the outside, and Matip's running out to close him down, and then he just hesitates for a split second, giving the Wolves player that extra bit of time to play the ball into the centre. It ricochets off Matip and goes into the bottom corner of the Liverpool net. Look, it was a fluke own goal, but it was that indecision, that hesitation that caused the problem. And when you're a team that's not focused and you're low on confidence and you're disorganized, that's when things like that happen, when fluke goals go in. When you've got things under control, when you are focused, when you're fighting for every ball, these kind of things don't tend to happen. So you're thinking, surely that's the wake-up call Liverpool needed. No, we continue playing awful. And 7 minutes later, it only took 12 minutes for Liverpool to be 2-0 down and for the game to be essentially over. This time it's Gomez's turn to mess up. Ball comes into the centre. He flicks the ball on with his head right into the danger area, into the centre of the Liverpool box. And the first shot gets blocked. The second shot goes in. And you're just thinking, what are this team doing? Especially when we're trying to put so much emphasis on the defensive side of the game. We're playing a mid-block. We're not pressing so high. We're trying to keep things more compact. We're putting the onus on being defensively solid. And we're 2-0 down in 12 minutes against a team in the bottom 3. How? How is that possible? Matip had a fantastic season last year next to Van Dijk. And it's one thing playing well when you've got the leader there beside you, when you've got the organizer, the player who's giving you confidence. But it just feels like I mean, Matip, before Van Dijk joined Liverpool, used to be very inconsistent. He never really filled you with confidence. And he's looking more and more like that player when Van Dijk is not beside him. Gomez at times looks like a top player, but then he's always got a mistake in him. He dives into challenges too much. He gets beaten too often. And we're missing our best defender of the season, which has been Konate. He's shown a brilliant ability to win the ball back, to win challenges, to be physical, be strong, be fast. But his injury record is concerning. He's only, 23, 24? He's only been at Liverpool for about 18 months. And I'm not even sure how many injuries he's had in that period, but it's quite a few. And he had a patchy injury record before he came to Liverpool as well. But is he going to be able to be Van Dijk's successor? It's definitely a concern because he can't seem to stay fit consistently. You can tell Klopp is trying to just grasp onto any positives he can after every game. And he's almost cutting the match into various sections to say, okay, yeah, well, we were bad for that first 15 minutes, but then we played well for 20. And then for this 50, if you ignore this 15, for that 30, we played well. And in one sense, he is right. We were terrible that opening part of the game. We were okay after we were 2-0 down for probably that rest of the first half. Started getting into it a little bit more. That's how we should have started at a minimum with that level of performance. In the second half, we actually started well. And for about 30 minutes, we had sustained pressure, which is something I haven't seen Liverpool do a lot in the last few games. We were penning Wolves in. They couldn't get out. But then the third goal goes in. And, the game's over at that point. And the third goal was so unbelievably frustrating. Bajcetic loses the ball high up the pitch. And Bajcetic is the last player I'd blame for the way Liverpool have been playing recently. He's actually been one of the shining lights. He was the best player in the park for Liverpool in this game. Won the ball quite a few times, showed good positional discipline. He was tracking runners. He made good use of the ball as well. And it's a bit of a sad situation when he's barely 18, when he's being our best player in games. And this is around more senior players, a lot of experienced players who've won everything in the game. It's an 18-year-old who's been leading the way, who's only got a handful of appearances. Something is just not right. Anyway, Bajcetic loses the ball high up the pitch. We can't be that vulnerable when you're that far up the pitch when you lose it. Wolves hit us on the counter-attack. Liverpool still have 4 players back. Wolves have 3 moving forward. Their player with the ball, 1 player in the centre and another on the far left-hand side. The ball is played into Neves, who's making a run right through the centre of the Liverpool defence. There's 2 players there. He runs straight through, in on goal, puts it away. Atrocious defending. And it's game over. Before that goal, we probably should have scored. Liverpool had 22 shots in the game. Nunes had 5 and Keita had 5. Nunes, I still think he's going to come good at some point because he generates so many opportunities, but he has to start finishing. And Keita was so wasteful with his opportunities. He has pinged a few in the top corner for Liverpool over the years, but in general, his shooting is very, very inconsistent. Salah again looks way off. And what says it all is that Liverpool, out of those 22 shots, we only had an XG of 1.3. Wolves had just 12 shots, but their XG was 2.63. So they nearly had half the number of shots, but had double the expected goals. And that says a couple of things. It shows you that Liverpool are not generating high quality chances and that they're conceding very high quality chances. And that's why teams, they don't need to get that many opportunities to score goals against Liverpool right now. Tactically, Nunes was back in the centre with Gakpo on the left, which is supposed to be both their favoured positions. The issue is still, though, that we just seem disjointed in attack. There's not that much link-up play, especially with Nunes. He's pretty sloppy on the ball. He tries to come deep at times. He's not very good at it. Thiago as well. It was, from his standards, it was a poor game. There was one point where he lost the ball 3 times in a row, misplaced passes, in the space of a couple of minutes. That probably hasn't happened to Thiago many times in his whole career. And it's kind of indicative of Liverpool as a whole, that even someone of his quality is giving the ball away so easily. And I think one of the problems is that historically, Liverpool, we've always been a little bit sloppy in the ball. I mean, Salah and Mane turn the ball over quite a lot. They always have. But because the team were so intense and so full of energy, we'd always win the ball back very quickly after we gave it away. And eventually, we'd wear teams down, generate good chances, and score goals. But now we're almost more sloppy in the ball up top. We're still giving it away very cheaply, more so than usual. But then we just can't win it back. All the stats are down. Liverpool have the worst challenge success rate in the entire league. Our pressing numbers are down. Our tackling numbers are down. By all metrics, Liverpool have deteriorated this season versus last. Where do we go from here? Klopp is obviously under a lot of pressure now, and there's starting to be some calls for the fact that maybe we need a change managerially. But I just feel that without Klopp, things would be so much worse. It seems like the ceiling's caving in, and Klopp is the one trying to hold it together. There's been so much change in the club. There's so much uncertainty right now. The club are up for sale. FSG are looking for investors, they're saying. You've got that holy trinity of a team that has had so much success in recent years with Klopp, Mike Gordon, and Michael Edwards. Edwards has left. Mike Gordon is now off the operations of the club. He's working on a sale or trying to find new investment. So Klopp's the only one of that team left. You've got Julian Ward, who came in as sporting director to replace Michael Edwards. He has also handed in his resignation. He'll be leaving in the summer after just 1 year. Again, that's concerning. You've got Ian Graham, who built the data science team for Liverpool, who's extremely respected in the industry. He's also resigned. The club doctor resigned in the summer, and that position went unfilled for months. This is a club who have been so well run over the years, and things are just happening that don't quite feel right. There's been rumours of friction between the physiotherapists at Liverpool and the sports science people. I mean, Liverpool having a host of injuries this season, one of the worst in the league, probably along with Chelsea. It's really, really concerning. And Klopp is he's the consistent there. I just feel like without him, things would feel far, far worse. And I do think he's the most important person at the club. He deserves the opportunity to rebuild this team. You almost feel like we need to draw a line under the season now, and for him to just focus on next year. Who can he count on next year? And we need to get him the resources to plug these holes and build a new midfield. And it's becoming quite clear that Klopp needs to build a new side. And we need to give him the time and money to do it, because at the end of the day, he's one of the best managers in the world. And any team, club or national, would jump at the chance to get him. He is one of the few stable structures left in the club. And I do believe that he will get it right. But things really are looking bleak right now. And we've got Everton next week, with Sean Dyche coming in and having just beat Arsenal in the league. I mean, things could go from bad to worse for Liverpool. Let's put our faith in Klopp, though. I hope he can just figure out a way to turn this around. Fingers crossed. I'll see you in the next video.